So welcome, Sanjeev.
Thank you, sir.
So first of all, congratulations on your success on getting the good rank in UPSC, rank 465 in Civil Service Examination 2024 with the management optional.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So for the benefit of everyone, I will introduce Mr. Sanjeev. Mr. Sanjeev has secured rank 465 in the Civil Service Examination 2024, and he had management as an optional in his uh, in this in the UPSC for the civil service exam, and he has been a student of the DIADEMY IAS. He joined as a test series student in civil service examination 2024, and he used test series and value additions and all. That is how he has been associated, and later on he also joined our mock interview program. So once again, welcome, Sanjeev. I would like to hear from you about your story of your educational qualification. How did you ended up taking management optional, and why did you take management as an optional? This is one of the uh, optional which is not so popular. Still, you chose this optional, and how has been your journey of the civil services?
Thank you, sir. Before I begin my journey, I would like to thank you for providing this platform to interact with the students and to share my experience and journey so far. Talking about my story, sir, I come from Kushinagar district in Uttar Pradesh. I have done my graduation in Bachelor of Management Studies from Sri Sukhdev College of Business Studies, Delhi University. Post that, I was also working with BCG in the management consulting domain. And I have chosen management as my optional primarily because of two reasons, I would say. Number one is the background in the subject. Since I did my graduation in Bachelor of Management Studies, I had a fair understanding of how the subject is, what all it contains, and also because of my working in BCG, which is primarily a management consulting domain. I was primarily working on some of the strategies as well. So that also helped me in having a good idea of choosing management as an optional. So that is the reason why I chose management. Uh, Talking about my journey, sir, this has been my third attempt, and in which I have fortunately got the 465 rank this year.
Okay, great, Sanjeev. I understood that your background in the management was the major force, but there must have been certain factors like not many people are taking this optional. There is resource crunch, maybe whether I'll get sufficient marks or not. So, how did you tackle all those thoughts?
Yes, sir. I was when I was choosing my optional, I had this dilemma as well to go for rather mainstream optional like sociology or anthropology or the pol science and stuff. But then I looked at the paper, and the paper contained mixed of both theoretical and numerical aspect of it. So numerical is something which I thought is a fair advantage to all the aspirant. If you're doing the numericals in any optional, there's a very good chance that you will be scored more than other theory subjects. So management provides a fine balance of jumping your studies between studying for the theory subject, but also solving for the numerical aspect of it. So I thought that this will not bring monotony in my preparation. Also, when I looked at the previous year toppers, the scores were also as compared to any other optional paper. So I thought that on the marks front as well, if we are studying hard and if we are covering all the syllabus points that is mentioned in this management option syllabus and also doing the PYQs, then I think this optional is a fair advantage to get the average or even top marks in like any other optional subject.
Right. How did you start? Like about resources, books. Did you use your graduation books or you used standard books? Uh, what all resources you used for your preparation?
Sir, primarily I relied on the standard books. Primarily, for example, if I talk about the module wise, then for managerial functions and OB, there is Robbins' book. For marketing, there is Kotler. For the financial management, there is Prasanna Chandra. Then for HRM, there is Aswathapa. These were for paper one. For paper two, the standard books that I relied upon was for Stars, Race, Levin and Rubin. Operations research, I relied on, there's a book by Hazer that I did. MIS is mostly online and not referred to any standard book. GBI also mostly are online and GS3 materials as well. International business, I use a book by Helen Jones, some aspect of it, but for others, I had to do online research. And strategic management, also there was no standard book, but mostly online and following the previous year question paper. So once this was done, once I made my basic notes from all these standard books, then I had to do the value addition in terms of how are you going to enrich your answers. And for that, I refer to some of the toppers copies as well, the previous year management toppers. I refer to their copies on what all aspect am I missing, how can I enrich my answers. That also I used. And also, sir, when it came to mains last year, some of the value addition booklets that was provided by you as well, which contained some Indian examples and some of the good quotes by various thinkers. That was also that I used.
Right. So at DIADEMY IAS, we provided the value addition for OB, HRM, definitions, examples, all these things. So you were able to use those in your answers?
Yes, sir, some of them, primarily while introduction or while conclusion. But specifically, the examples that I had were mostly of global practices or the companies outside India. So for giving that Indian touch, I used some of the examples that were mentioned in that booklet.
Right. In fact, I compiled all these examples from the very good standard books and other resources. I follow newspapers, Economic Times, and also good examples appear over there. Uh,
Yes, sir.
Fine. I'm glad that you have used these, and I hope these have definitely improved your answers. Now coming to the next area, as you very rightly mentioned that because of numerical, this subject becomes interesting. However, at the same time, for some people, numericals pose a problem. So, what is your take on that in paper one, paper two?
Sir, I think looking at the recent trend also and looking at the marking parameter also, one needs to be very comfortable in numerical if they have to score high in management optional, because that is something that will give a candidate edge over the others. So if you're doing the numerical right and you're getting the right answer, obviously you need to have an aptitude for it as well. And for that, you can do is practice various kind of questions because that will give you an advantage over others. And I think you cannot skip numerical, especially when it comes to management optional and think that I will attend only the theory part and will score very good marks. So I think numericals is an intrinsic part of management optional. So
True. In fact, numericals helps score better. Like in paper one, if one is attempting answers of financial management, accounting for managers, in paper two, one is attempting answers of statistics and POM. So it is definitely going to fetch extra marks, as we have seen the pattern where like Surbi Patak, she scored very good in paper one because of uh, good command over numerical. In fact, Sagar this year he scored very good marks, 136 marks in paper two because of good numerical command. So numerical is something, if one do the numerical properly, then definitely it is going to fetch the extra marks.
yes, sir. And also, I think, sir, it reduces the boredom because you're doing is studying the theory of various modules. So once you at the end of the day, once you are done with all these theories, you can just pick up some numerical and start solving them. Like just say 1 hour also. So that will give you an edge, and that will also reduce the boredom in while you're studying all the theory part of management.
True, true, true. Absolutely agreed. Now coming to the notes making, did you make the notes or like how did you go about notes?
Yes, sir. My note making strategy was in a very iterative phase. Ideally, what I did was when I had gone through the standard books, then I started making notes. But the thing was that notes became very bulky. In fact, it was not, I would say, as per UPSC demands. because there were so many things and you had to write so many things. So it became very bulky and that became very troublesome to revise at the end. So for the next citation, what I did was I tried to shorten it to an extent that I am covering only max 2 to 3 pages on every topic that is mentioned in the syllabus. And for note making, I specifically focus on the aspect that I'm not missing on any of the topics that is mentioned in the syllabus. Even if the question is not being asked, I will just make a one pager note just in case the question is asked. I do not miss on that one. And for any other topic, let's say the previous year questions are there and they are being repetitive, then I will make sure that I'm covering all the broad dimension of those topics in the notes. I'm like giving special focus while making the notes of those most often repeated topics. So note making was very in line with what is there in the syllabus and what is being asked in the PYQ.
Right. And now coming to the PYQs, as you rightly mentioned, that you used the PYQs to identify the topic for which you will make the notes. Uh, Apart from this, how did you use PYQs? Like apart from notes making, how like what all analysis you have done with the PYQs? How PYQs can be used best in the entire course of preparation?
Sir, I have solved last 5 years PYQs rigorously. Like I have import a folder named of PYQs for all the modules, and I have solved them. Like I have written answers for it, and these are just like standard model answers for me that I can use in case the questions are being asked or the same PYQ is being repeated.
In fact,
So
in
some
sorry to interrupt you. In fact, in some areas like GVI, same questions they are repeating in every year. I mean, they're asking the question on private role of private sector. There are questions on Consumer Protection Act. So I think only few questions they are repeating every time. So
yes,
these are some of the low hanging fruits. Hmm.
yes, sir. And these low hanging fruits are very important, especially when it comes to actually attempting the paper on the examination day. Because if you have already written the answers and you already know what is to be written for these PYQs, so you can uh, attempt that question faster and save time. Because what we see, there is a time constraint problem when you are doing the management optional paper, especially paper two when you have got so many numericals in that aspect. So solving these numericals definitely help. Solving these PYQs definitely help in saving time and making sure that your paper is completed.
True, true. Uh, in management optional, we see a like there is a observation that we get 5 markers, 10 markers, 15 markers, and in fact, if I'm correct, in 2023 or in 24, I'm not able to exactly remember. In one year, they asked like 555, uh, so multiple subparts. So how did you deal with? How do you deal with these kind of questions?
So I think there's a very good aspect of management optional paper. They themselves are breaking down the question into multiple parts. So that becomes easier for you. So you don't have to do the labor of dividing the question into various parts. If they are doing it for you and are also giving the marks for say, all you have to do is justify the question for the relevant marks that they are giving. So the time gets saved that you don't have to think about dividing the question. Just answer what is being asked in the question paper, and I think you will be good to go.
Right. Now coming to the role of current affairs, did you follow any dedicated resource, or you just relied on what comes in front of you when you are preparing for GS?
So I did not specifically refer to any dedicated resource for current affairs, like especially for writing the mains paper. I mostly relied on whatever was coming in the normal newspaper reading that I was doing for the GS preparation and overall CSC preparation. So I used to pick up some examples from there as well. And I also, some of the times before mains, what I used to do was I used to Google some of the case studies on various important or repeated topics, which I can, let's say if a question comes, so I can write those case studies. So I did that, but it was mostly the normal newspaper reading that I relied upon.
Okay, fine. Now coming to the answer writing, one aspect you have told that you did the answer writing of last 5 years. Uh, when you joined the test series of DIADEMY IAS last year, how did you utilize the test series, and how one person can go about practicing the tests and all? Like
Uh,
what aspects should be kept in mind while practicing papers, and how to take best advantage of the tests?
Sir, to take the best advantage, I would say, is to follow the schedule that is given by the test series. So I remember I had a weekly schedule for all the sectional papers, and when the sectional papers were completed, there were two full-length mocks as well. So what I did was I made sure that I am revising my topics like for throughout the week and writing paper at the end of the week. That is something which I make that it should be non-negotiable for me, because especially when you're attempting a paper like management where it becomes lengthy, you need to have an answer writing practice, because then only you will be able to complete the paper in time. And that is why I utilize the test series mostly for answer writing and making sure that I'm completing the paper in 3 hours, justifying all the demands of the question paper, and wherever possible, adding those value addition, adding those things to make sure that the paper is completed with good quality answers.
True. So what I can infer from your discussion is that you used it as a source of, I mean, it's a kind of schedule which is non-negotiable for you, and then writing the answers because it helps speeding up in a bulky optional like management. In fact, this word bulky, I mean, don't you think that management has a large syllabus? I mean, is it really a large syllabus, or the perception is like that only? What is your experience?
Sir, it can be considered as large syllabus when you compare it with other options. But the good thing about management option is some of the things are repeated very often. So you can take advantage over there that you can prepare those things very well. And also, sir, the syllabus of management overall, if you see, is static in nature. So if you can write the relevant theory part and just supplement it with the latest examples, that will do the work for you. You don't have to make notes again and again. If you have made notes once, you can use them for all the things that are being asked.
True, very true that this optional is comparatively static and objective also. Means there is
Yes.
not much scope of subjectivity. Suppose, for example, if they ask a question about cost of capital, then everyone has the same content. They can prepare the content once and they can use it again and again. There is no scope of much value addition and all. So from that point of view, this is manageable. And I think because only the people who have background in management, only those people take this optional. So from that perspective, also this optional remains one of the optional for which you already have some kind of knowledge, some kind of background. So from that perspective, this is not so bulky actually.
Yes, sir. People with background only take management as optional, and since they have an idea about the overall subject and how it works, they just have to tailor those in accordance with the UPSC needs, and that is when you will be done with it. So just tailoring it with what is being asked by the UPSC, when you have a broader idea, I think it will work for a person having a background in it.
Yes, true. Now coming to the interview part, uh, like was there any specific question in your interview from the management optional?
Yes, sir. I had, I think I would say 30% of my discussion was because of management optional and also because of my previous work experience. So they asked me about the strategy of Costa Coffee. Then they also asked me about the CSR initiatives, and also they had a question about on one hand we are saying that we should promote ease of doing business, and on the other hand we are adding the compliance costs through measures like CSR and all these things, ESG norms, etc. So don't you think it's contradictory to each other? And how should we go about it? So overall, I would say that the theme of relevant and the theme of my previous work experience sort of dominated the interview discussion which I had. Obviously, there were some other areas also that were asked in the interview, but this was a major theme, I would say.
Okay, I think that would have helped you being comfortable in the interview. In fact, this is also an advantage of your own optional, that it is in sync with your background. It is in sync with your graduation, and somehow at least one or two members they will ask the questions on this.
Yes, sir. Definitely they did.
And I remember taking your mock interview uh, before the actual interview, where we practiced a lot of management type of questions.
Yes, sir.
I also remember your copies. In fact, I have opened the chat where I had given you the feedback, just to recall that what kind of feedback I have given. Your answers were very structured, and your answers were having good presentation. I mean, this feedback I gave to you last year in the month of August. So I'm just reading that chat for the benefit of everyone. Like, what are supposed to be the good points of your answer? You used good examples. You had conceptual clarity. So these were already inherent in your answers, and some suggestions which I gave you was about use of some facts, etc. in the GVI questions, and yes, maybe some more value addition. So you were very well incorporated those in the subsequent answers, I remember.
Yes, sir.
So one thing I observed that in fact you are one of the very few candidates who completed all the tests on time. I mean, this is my observation about your performance in the tests. I mean, and that says something about you, and there is no surprise that those efforts got converted into marks.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Sanjeev. Yes.
Yes, sir. I made it a point that if you are taking the test series, make the best use of it, especially when you have a subject like optional where you don't have much guidance available. And if you're getting the help from someone who has been doing it for the previous few years, so obviously take that advantage. And having a teacher's point of view on your answers will certainly open up your mind as well as to how you should think about question paper and what is the perception of the overall quality of answers that you are writing. So that
True. True.
definitely helps. And also in answer writing, like at the end of the day, you have to make sure that you are completing the paper on time. And that actually comes with practice. So I think practice is also very important that is incorporated in the test series.
True. 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 Now coming to the role of DIADEMY IAS. I mean, you have spoken a lot in the interaction also, but just to sum up, I would like to hear from you. How was your experience about the services that you availed from DIADEMY IAS, like test series, value additions, and mock interview overall?
So overall, it was good. I had timely feedback. The copies were checked on time, and also if there were doubts, I remember I asked you for a one-to-one conversation, wherein we spoke about we looked at the copies and some of the areas that we have to work upon. So that was also very helpful. And overall, in terms of the test series, that helped me in terms of making sure that I don't have the hesitation that I will do the full length test or the final test when the exam is actually near. So that gave me a overall dimension or structure that I have to complete these topics within this week because I have got a test coming. So that really streamlined the preparation. So that really worked for me.
Fine, got it, Sanjeev. Thank you very much for your kind review. Now, I would ask the participants who are attending this session, if you have any question, you can unmute yourself or you can type your questions in the chat box. We will be happy to take your questions. And in meanwhile, I will ask Sanjeev if you have anything to share with the students, like some do's, don'ts, which you would have learned in your course of preparation. Please share that.
Sir, more than do's, there are some of the don'ts that I would like to share. One of the don't is that do not think that this particular topic has not been asked by UPSC in management option. So I will not cover it. What happens is they usually ask that question only. If you have not covered it, they will ask it. So that has happened with me as well. And secondly, would be that do not be of the view that I am only going to do the PYQs or only the repeated themes and that it will work for me. That is not going to be there. You have to make the two to three page notes of all the topics because it is not just if the question is being asked in the exam or not of that particular topic, but it is also about the interlinkages. If you have read about the topic, you can use that dimension in any other as well. For example, if you're reading anything in any model in OB, you can use that in HRM. You can use that in production and operation management as well. That how job enrichment can be used to do for the quality circle in production and operation management. So interlinkages only come once you have done all the syllabus points uh, very well. And thirdly, sir, would be that you have to use the syllabus very wisely, not just in terms of making the notes, but also using those keywords whenever the question are being asked. And if you're running short of any dimension, you can just think through paper-wise module, and you will get some of the other dimensions as well. So I think the syllabus and the PYQs are the cornerstone for this optional, and you have to be very thorough with it.
True. In fact, I really appreciate you highlighting this gray area, which people normally neglect. They think that emphasizing PYQs is enough. There are certain observations which I can just point it out. Like in 2023, they asked the question on process costing, which they never asked in the past. In 2024, they asked a question on EBIT EPS, which they don't ask didn't ask in the previous years. In the theory also, there are many themes which they didn't ask in the previous years, but they have been asking now. So completing the syllabus is the way out, definitely. And the interlinkage, that is also very good point, because that shows uh, kind of smart work where you can use the limited examples in depth.
Yes, sir.
Uh, in fact, there is a question, Sanjeev, from the candidate Abhi Goyal. Sir, how to remember examples, because every topic has examples given. I think you have answered this, but still you can again.
Yes, sir. But if you are sort of running short of examples, I would say that in paper like management, you should have ample number of examples, because that is what is going to differentiate your copy from the others. So writing ample number of examples is very much important. Regarding how you can remember it, what you can do is you can make a sheet of all the examples. On one sheet of paper, you can write all these examples and just have a go through it after like 2 3 days. You go through it, and you can also use them at multiple instances. For example, if you are looking at the ITC case example, you can talk about the ITC CSR initiative in paper one, like managerial ethics. You can talk about the ITC product strategy in marketing. You can also talk about the ITC distribution strategy in, let's say, in logistics or the production and operation management. So all these things, you refining the examples will give you an extra dimension. It's not just the name of the company that you are using, but it's the context in which you are using the name of the company that will make things clear for the examiner, like what is the point that you are trying to say. So I think using this, you can go about remembering the examples.
Right. In fact, one more question I will ask. How did you use value additions, like the value additions that we provided at DIADEMY IAS, like quotations, definitions, examples? Like you beautifully explained how do you use examples. So how did you use quotations? How did you use diagrams? How often you used? Was it very frequent, or was it need based, and all those things? Can you please throw some light over that?
Sir, quotations, either I used to do them at the start of the questions if the relevant question is being done, or at the end of it, like while concluding or while introduction of it. So that was when I used to do the quotation. Regarding the diagrams, diagrams are also very important, because diagrams, they not only give you the visual clarity or visual representation of the answer, but they also help in saving the time. So if you have got any model, and if you got any flowchart, if you got any diagram, prioritize that over writing many more theoretical aspect of it. So some of the diagrams that were there, I used it in my actual answers, if at all they were being asked. So that also helped.
Understood. There is one more question from the participant. Shweta is asking this question. What about the accounting part of paper one? It will be tough to attempt in the exam situation.
Yes,
Yes, Sanjeev.
that accounting has been tricky for me as well, because I had a science background, and looking at the kind of questions that are being asked in accounting, especially in these 2 3 years, they are very much, I would say, if you do not have if you have not read the topic very well, it becomes very difficult to attempt those papers in the exam like scenario. So if you see that the paper is moving in that direction, that the accounting paper numerical is being asked, then a smart strategy would be to practice those numericals, because you have to think it of it in that way that if you are getting the numerical right, you are going to score very good marks.
True,
So
true,
what you have to do is practice that very well and think of it as a mark enhancer technique. So practice those accounting questions, not only theory but also some numerical aspect of it.
true. In fact, I would like to share my opinion on this also. Accounting is something which needs conceptual clarity and a bit of practice. Like coming to process costing, or say cost and financial accounts reconciliation. So all these things are difficult as long as we are not preparing it. But once we prepare it, it is easy actually. So it needs bit practice, because I teach all these things. So I always say to the student that don't be in a hurry. You should have the conceptual clarity. So having conceptual clarity is the thing, coupled with practice, that
Yes,
will make
sir.
a difference. Mhm.
Yes, sir. I think once you get the funda or the logic of it, then you won't forget it also. So it will be comparatively easier to attempt that question. If you have gotten that how it needs to be solved, it becomes easier to attempt.
True, true. So I think we have taken all the questions. And Sanjeev, as far as I can guess, you are getting Indian Police Service. I mean, the list is yet to be out, but we can guess that you are going to get the police service.
Yes, sir.
So congratulations, and that is one of the very good service, and good opportunity to utilize your talent in serving the nation. And like, it is one of the uh, adventurous job kind of.
Definitely, sir.
Many people admire this job, and they had a wish that they can join police service. So my best wishes to you. And in fact, for the benefit of candidates, I will request those people who hear this session. We had taken the strategy sessions with other candidates of management optional, like Mr. Abhishek Vyas, who qualified in the previous year. This year, Mr. Sagar, and Surbi Patak in the previous couple of attempts. So those who want to make their strategy for the management optional, they can listen to all these strategies. And if you want to be in touch with the toppers and all, you can always contact us. We can try to help you out. Thank you, Sanjeev, once again.
Thank you,
My
sir.
best
Thank you so
wishes.
much for providing this opportunity. And it was wonderful talking to you and all the other aspirants as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Sanjeev. Same here.
Thank you. Thank you so
Have a
much.
nice day.
You too.